Hello again. I've got the bits for the Escort rear diff, which I'm quite excited about getting back together again. I don't like it when cars aren't as they should be. I don't like them with bits hanging off them. So I've got all the plates and everything from West Wales Rally Spares. I've got a jug. I've got the diff oil that's been recommended by Opie, I think it is. So I'm going to put the plates in a jug with some diff oil, leave them soak for a bit. I know with motorbike clutches, you need to soak them for quite a while, but these are all wet, so I presume they've been soaking. So I'll leave them soak for a bit. I've had a message about my backlash, which I measured my backlash 0.2 of a mil. And apparently that's within tolerance of what you can have. And I'm going to stick with that, put it back together again. 0.2 is 7 thou, between 7 and 8 thou of an inch. And I think you can go up to 9. So it is within there. I've been told to make sure that the bolt that holds the pinion in hasn't gone loose, because apparently that can happen as well. So there could be anything that's loose that's making a clunk. So I'll check that whilst I'm under there. I'll have to take the prop off to do that. And I'll just give it a once over and check everything else out. But if that's within tolerance, I'm happy with that. And it was driving all right. It was just clunking and making a clunking noise between 5th and 6th. But do they do that? I think I've got a link bar that needs a new bushing in it. It could be that that's doing it. And the engine mounts, they look like they could be refreshed, so I might get a set of engine mounts and link bushers and put those in. Right, let's get this in now. Right, that's all the old bits out, and these were a right pain to get out. I actually used my magnet in the end and pull them, but still the suction from the oil was holding them in really well. So I don't know what's worn and what's not, but what I do know is there was no, it was flat before. This is pushing up from the middle, so, which is what you want. I've got the 2 Allen keys in that hold it together, just so it doesn't come apart, but I need to clamp it somehow and see if it'll fit in my vise, or use the G-clamps and see how much pressure it needs to get it back together again. I can get quite a good grip on the bottom and on the, if I put something over the top, just to hold it together while I do the Allen keys up, and then, or just to compress it. So yeah, definitely it's different to how it was. What I was doing is putting a plate in and then putting oil on it, and then putting another plate in, putting oil on it. So I will clamp it up now, do the bolts up, and then the crown wheel, the bolts that came out the crown wheel, I've always put Loctite on them, but it doesn't look like there was any Loctite on these. But it did have a lock wire, so I'm guessing they're torqued up and then the lock wire stops them from coming undone. But you know, the car was a good car. It's been like this for a long time. It's not a problem. I'm not going to change anything. If it didn't have thread lock in it before, and it was all right for, it's been going for 15 years or whatever, then no need to put it in again. I think what I'll do is I'll buy a spare set of friction plates for the diff. Diff was still working fine, but I presume it was wearing out a bit, seeing as it was, the wavy plates had collapsed a little bit. I'll keep these because BMWs come with 2 plates as standard, and you can take a spacer out and put another plate in, which makes them lock up better, or you can get the end plate machined. Anyway, we're not talking about that car, we're talking about the Escort. So I am going to have to give this a good clean up. I'll get this clamped first and get the bolts in. All right, that's the unit compressed. So I've just put it in the press because I had a press. I thought I might as well do that. It wasn't really working with the clamps. But I'm guessing if you put the crown wheel underneath and tighten the bolts up, like crisscrossing, that would pull it together. But you won't be able to get the 2 bolts, Allen keys, done up then. So that's compressed and the Allen keys are nice and tight. So what I've got to do now is put the crown wheel back on. I'll do all the Loctite wire on it, and then I can put the unit back in the differential. Another thing I found out is down through the middle, a hole's been drilled in the crucifix. I think that's what you call it. And apparently that's so, because it's fully floating, if you break this shaft, you can take this shaft out and put something through the middle and bang it to knock the bit of broken shaft out, and then put a magnet down and get it and take it out. Which is quite interesting, because I wouldn't have known that wasn't supposed to be like that, or wasn't originally like that. Right, I've just cleaned up the face of the crown wheel. I'll just clean up the back of that and then bolt that on. That's the crown wheel bolts all nipped up. So now I need to find out what torque there needs to be set at. So I'll tighten those up. And I'll also find out the torque of the 2 bolts either side that hold the diff in place. So once I put it in, I can torque them up as well. And also the torque for the back plate, if there is one. That needs a good clean out. Right, I did put Loctite on the bolts in the ends. I couldn't, I wouldn't have been able to sleep tonight if I hadn't done it. Right, so that's the Loctite and lock wire on it, and now I'm going to get it back into the diff casing. Well, I've got it back in again, and I've torqued these bolts up, the bearing cap bolts, and now the end float is 0.12 of a mil, which on the smaller side. So it just goes to show that I haven't touched the spaces either side, and it's gone down 0.8 of a mil, 0.08 of a mil. So if I'd taken a spacer off one side and put it on the other side, it probably would have showed a way too small size, even though I think ideally you'd want to build it, run it, and then check it and make sure it's all right. Because if that's not being changed and it's gone down 0.08 of a mil, I presume it's going to settle in and go back to that. Right, anyway, that's that done. I've got to put lock wire on these because that's how it was when I got it, and then put the back plate on. Right, that's the diff all back in, all torqued up with the back cover on. I've just got to push the half shafts, the other half shafts back in, and then tomorrow when the silicon's sealed, I will be able to fill up with oil. And thanks for the guy who told me, there's a filling bung on the top that you take out and you fill until it oil starts coming out, and you know it's got enough in it then. Right, so it's all back together again, but unfortunately the bottom bolt is the threads have totally gone. So I noticed it felt a bit loose on the way out, and there was a lot of silicone in there. I can't leave it like that. I've got to take it out. I've either got to strip the whole thing back down again. I think I'm going to have to strip the whole thing back down again. I've bought a repair kit, which is like a helicoil, I think they're called. So drill the hole a bit bigger and put an insert in, and then you should be able to put the bolt back in again. But I've still got plenty of time. I've got 6 weeks, I think, before the rally. So I've ordered a set. I've got to go and get some gas for the welder tomorrow, so I'll see if I can get a set locally, and that way I can do it tomorrow probably. So yeah, so it's ongoing, but at least I've got to get it right. I can't do it with a when there's a chance the bolt will come out or leak and I run out of oil in the diff, it's just going to be devastating. Well, I've actually taken the diff guard off. There was loads of silicone around the bolts, the drainage bolt for some reason, but the bolts, these bolts, that one that's stripped, actually goes through the diff. It doesn't actually go inside the diff, so I can drill that no problem for the insert, and I shouldn't get any, it shouldn't interfere inside. I thought these went into the, I thought these were left open inside the diff. That's what I was worried about, so that is the result. So I put silicone on it and I thought, as long as it doesn't let the oil out, but yeah, I'd rather do it right. So I'm draining the oil out of the gearbox at the moment, so there's new oil I've got to go in, the same that goes in the diff. I've got my silicone gun now, so I can seal, put a bit of silicone around these. Apparently you put silicone around them, clamp them up, and put a bit of tape on them and let them go off. And I need to order some falling bars because they're wobbling at the front, so that might be where the noise was coming from, the clunking. It might have been that moving slightly. Yeah, because there is quite a bit of play in them. Alright, I don't really know. Oh, I've got to check the bolt that goes into that holds the pinion, that goes into the diff, make sure that's tight, because apparently they can go loose as well. What I'm going to want to do as well, once I finish the work, is give it a good power wash. It's really filthy under here. Look at the crap in there. That's years and years of grime. So yeah, give it a good power wash, give it a good clean up, get all the oil up the shocks as well, get the threads working again. Probably lose a bit of weight then as well. Well, that's it done. I bought one of these kits, which is an M8 by 1.25. So you drill the hole with the drill and you tap it with a tap, and then use this to put the insert in, and that's got the right threads for the M8 to go in. So the bottom one's done. I've had to take the cover off, reseal it all, put it back on. So whilst I was doing that, I did the hubs. So I took the hub off, put a little bit of silicone over the seal, and clamped it together. And then apparently this tape here is good at stopping the oil coming out. Apparently it works. And then I went to top the gearbox up, and this is a pump which makes filling the gearbox up a lot easier. And it fell over and snapped the end off. So I'm just gluing a bit of brake pipe in at the moment, so hopefully that will do the job, because otherwise it's a right pain trying to get the gearbox oil in. And that's the same as the diff as well. I use that for the diff. But right now, everything is absolutely bogging in there. It's covered in gearbox oil and crap in there. So I need to have a bit of a tidy up just to make a bit of space. I've got the job of filling the diff up now with the diff oil, and I try using the pump one, but the end snapped off, and yeah, and we had a fire and all sorts went on. So I found this siphoning ball in the other garage, which I bought a while ago, I'd never used, and it's actually working quite well. So I'm currently pumping the oil into the diff, so I keep pumping until it starts coming back out again. What I did do was to get the filler bung out. I tried a 3/8 ratchet, but it was quite small. I think it would have done, but this was quite tight. So I had a bit of square steel. I just ground it down a little bit, so got that to fit, and then put an adjustable spanner around it. Something to keep in my toolbox for next time. I'm gonna have to top it up. So right, I'm gonna keep pumping wait till it comes out, and then I'm going to rotate the hubs just to get oil over everything inside the gearbox, the diff. Otherwise the level will go down as soon as it rotates. I know it'll be slightly, but might as well get as much in as it up to the fill level. Right, I think we'll wrap it up for this video. The diff's full of oil, plates on, the half shafts are back in, gearbox has been topped up, so basically the car's ready to go again. Diff seems to be working a lot better. If you turn one wheel, the other one turns, which is how I've always known a limited slip diff to be. And they are similar to the BMW one, the same plates in them, just a bit of a different wavy plate in that. The next job is the front seats, because the ones that are in it ran out of date at the end of last year. You get 5 years life with them, and then you get an extra 2 years. So they ran out 2 years ago, but we've got the extra 2 years. So I put new seats in the E30 last year. I'll take them out the E30 and put them into the Escort. Not my favourite job, because it's quite tight in there with the big wide gearbox tunnel. But whilst the seats are out, it'll be a good idea to get all the wiring sorted out with the heavy duty wires that are under the dash. It'll have more access without the seat in it. So John, who did the alternator, very kindly offered to come and crimp the ends, join them all together. He does it with a box or something, I don't know. He knows a lot more than I do about that sort of thing. So thank you very much, John. I'll give you a shout when I've got the seats out and see if you're free to pop round. But thanks everyone for watching. I'll wrap it up there, and I'll see you next time.